Welcome back to another video, my friend. I'm Blake and you're you, and this is Mono Black Devotion in Explorer. Now let's start taking a look at this list. Really, the main based card of the deck that is meant to win you the game is Grey Merchant of Asphodel. This is a 5-mana 2/4 zombie, and when he comes down, each opponent is going to lose X life, where X is your devotion to black, and you gain life equal to the amount of life lost that way. So that is the big finisher of the game, and then being a devotion deck, obviously we're going to want to play a lot of cards with black pips in it. So let's just start at the top with the biggest things we can do and work our way down. We're running one copy of Liliana. She is the 6-mana planeswalker. The main reason she is in here is for that card advantage. Whenever a creature you control dies, draw a card, and just a very powerful planeswalker, forcing your opponent to sacrifice 2 creatures can be quite good. We're running one Invoke Despair just because in mono black it's pretty easy to cast, and it can be a real beatdown against some decks. There's so much graveyard shenanigans going on. I'm trying out one copy of Leyline of the Void. Probably not really a main deck card, but I like doing a one of in case you face those Greasefang or Arclight Phoenix's decks. Sometimes you just get to start the game with this on the battlefield and you just win for free against those matchups, which you see pretty predominantly. So probably a sideboard card, but I don't hate taking one copy, and it still counts for our devotion, so it's not completely dead in other matchups. Now, we are in our 3-drop spot. One of my favorite cards that I always love making room for is a Murderous Rider. It's just simply, basically a murder on the Swift inside for an adventure, and then it plops down and is a nice little 2/3 lifelinker for 3, giving you an immediate 2-for-1, and it's just amazing. 2 copies of Ayara. This is our main card draw engine for the deck coming down on turn 3. Also 3 black pips is incredible, but whenever Ayara, First of Locthwain, or another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1, you gain 1, so fitting very much in with our kind of pinging down life theme that goes very nicely with that merchant. And then you can always tap, sacrifice a different black creature to draw a card. Very nice. 3 copies of Underworld Dreams, another ping down your opponent card with 3 pips to just whittle them down to Grey Merchant kill range. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. We do have an Agadeem's Awakening that should be over there in our lands, which we'll talk about in a second. We have 2 copies of Yarlock Spinlurker. Really, at the 2-drop slot, anything with 2 black pips is going to get the job done. So when this enters, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. I think that's pretty strong. Again, we're in a heavy graveyard meta, so this doesn't help the Greasefang deck like something that would cause them to discard would do. And it's just a nice little 1/1 that can be pumped. It leaves you with 2 black pips. It's pretty nice. 2 Timoret Chosen from Death. Again, 2 black pips. He can get huge on the devotion side, making him a great blocker, holding you off while your opponent is waiting. And then 1 Mausoleum Secrets. This is the tutor card that can search for any card in our library equal to the number of creatures in our graveyard. So that's really good. And then at the 1-drop slot, we have several 1-drops we can make. Another land that should be over here for now. 4 Clawing Torment is an aura which gives a permanent -1/-1 and cannot block. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 1 life. So pretty funny to throw this on different things. It can hit any X1s. It's pretty cool, little interesting removal. I don't know if this is the best card, but I'm kind of testing this one out, and I actually think it's pretty good. 4 copies of Duress because I'm a budget player, and at the moment I don't have enough rares to get any Thoughtseize. This should certainly be Thoughtseize whenever you get to that point, but Duress gives us the info of the hand and does just enough, even though it's not obviously as good as Thoughtseize. 3 Omen of the Dead. This is because I don't have 4 copies of Warlock class. I think 4 copies of Warlock class is the correct way to play. At the beginning of your end step, if a creature died, each opponent loses 1 life is the main mode, and then you can do things on from there that gets crazier and crazier. So instead, I'm running 3 copies of Omen of the Dead. It gets to flash in and draw you a creature card out of your graveyard effectively, and then it sits around for 1 black pip. The lands are where you get to really go kind of crazy with whatever you have because you're mono black. So I'm running 3 of the Castle Locthwains that can draw you cards, a whole bunch of swamps. I've got 1 copy of Takenuma. I wish I had some copies of Hive of the Eye Tyrant, but I do not. I'm running 2 Malakar Rebirths, which I think are just really good, and then 1 copy of Agadeem's Awakening for a total of 25 lands. So, I think the deck is really cool. I'm excited to show it to you, so let's get into some games so we can see what this game can do. But before we do that, if you're willing to share this video with a friend that you think would enjoy Mono Black Devotion, I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's get into some games. Okay, jumping into our first game, with the Rebirth, we essentially have 3 swamps here. Starting off with that Duress is a great start. Turn 2, a little awkward, but we also can go turn 2 into the Rebirth if we need to. Or we can also hold on and then play this turn 1 and then turn 2 Clawing Torment and Duress, which might not be too bad. We'll see what they do here. So we see mono green. They're probably going to have a lot of creatures, so Duress probably isn't amazing because they're almost certainly not going to be playing a 2-drop, a instant or sorcery here, so that's why I chose to go with this tap land, because they're almost definitely going to want to do a turn 2 creature. I could be wrong, but let's see what Sissio Gigs has here against me in Diamond Drag here in Explorer. And there we see the War Master. This is where Thoughtseize is so much better because I could have hit that War Master, but that's fine. We'll see what we can do here. Turn 2, the Clawing Torment into the Elvish War Master. So let's Duress first. Choose this guy. Okay, this is pretty fine. Which one of these is worse? We don't have a lot of creatures we're trying to play. Both kind of are fight spells. This is better late game. This is instant. I think we'll just hit the Inscription. And then let's put this on the Warrior here. Make that a 1/1. Now this is going to get a little awkward unless we can draw a creature for some blocking here. So let's see if we can get lucky. You get a surprising amount of length out of the Clawing Torments just in how much damage you save from them. Now this is kind of a +1 or like buff your stuff deck, so this is probably a pretty bad matchup for us. But we'll see what happens. Timuret is a great draw here. Will really be able to do a lot of work for us as a 2/3, and he won't be able to pump his other elves with this guy for a while, but he's certainly going super wide. So this is a bit of a problem right now because it lets him do 2 if he fights like that pretty easily. But we'll see. We could turn it into a 3-for-1 if he's willing to do that, so I'd probably be willing to take that trade. Now that is a huge problem. That's probably going to pretty much still seal the game for him. But we'll see how he attacks. That does put me in an uncomfortable position. I would rather have blocked one of these. Yeah, I think we'll let him do that. Take away one elf that's making more elves. Yeah, not a great showing of the deck. He's just really going to blow us out here. 3, 6, 8, 10. I think he's got us. So, we're going to get another game. That one's not very good. Okay, so jumping into a game here. Turn 1 Duress always feels quite nice. And then we can follow that up with a Clawing Torment on turn 2 to either kill one of his small things or just gain us a little bit of time. And then turn 3, Ayara will feel quite nice. So I think this is a perfectly keepable hand. Let's see what our opponent, Bemagi, who I have played before, is playing Arclight Phoenix. So that's interesting. I think we'll just get rid of the... Do we get rid of the fire or the inventory? What's he hoping to do next turn? They played blue, so I guess we'll just get rid of the inventory. Take away the card draw right now. If we draw our Grave Hate, then we should be fine against this deck, but it will be a little bit hard to stop, especially since they got that turned on right now. We really need to draw some Grave Hate here. Let's see. I guess this is all we have for now. This is great. I kind of want Ayara to stay. So I think we get rid of Lightning Axe for now. It might be correct also to hold up a Murderous Rider, depending on how confident we are they're going to be able to cast 3 or more sorcery spells. So this next turn they would need 3 cantrips. So basically our bet is that they don't have exactly 3 cantrips, but I think Underworld Dreams early is really good because they're going to need to cycle through so many cards, and I'm just banking on them not having triple cantrips here. I guess that's a pretty high chance that they do. But we'll see. We'll put the pressure on. If they bring back one Phoenix, it's not the end of the world because we can Murderous Rider it next turn and put a pretty decent amount of pressure on. Now, if they bring 2 in here, then we're in trouble. Okay, and there is double Phoenix, so that's a huge problem. But if we get lucky, they don't have triple cantrip here. Oof. They probably have it. They probably have it. That's pretty tough. Yep, there they go. Very nice. Let's see if we can get out of this. I don't exactly know. We can kill 1 Phoenix for sure. That's very good. I actually wish I would have drawn a land there, because then we could have put a Clawing Torment on one and then kill the other. I think our play here is to just wait, see if they'll attack, and then put one of the Phoenixes back in the grave once they go to their combat. I think is the way to go. So we let them declare attacks first, and then we hope for the murder, and we hope we dodge any counterspells. I don't know how many counterspells the Izzet list runs. So that's good. That is pretty good. They're just going really, really fast right now. Our deck is not running smoothly today. That's brutal. Absolutely brutal. Okay, that's helpful. This is some good life gain. We're going to take 6 next turn, and we're going to take exactly 9 if they put another... I think the way to go is to put in a Yara. And then let's put a Clawing Torment on the Phoenix. And let's see if we can hold on here. The way we lose is if they dump another Phoenix in the grave, reanimate 2 of them, and then swing with everything. Probably somewhat easy for the deck to do. They just have to draw those Phoenixes. So they got about a 2 in 38 shot here. They're going to get to draw through... Oh, and with the Prowess, I did not think about that. We might just be dead anyway. They're at 6 right now. They're at 6 damage to us right now. 8 with the fire. They probably got it 9 with the fire, 10 with the fire. Good game they got it between the prowess and the play with fire. We'll go ahead and make sure that they don't make a mistake, but I think they just got us here. Okay, so jumping into a game here, we have a great start. Duress into Timuret, into Dreams. Not much more we can ask for. Mausoleum Secrets is certainly better to draw in the late game to get something out of there, but I think this is fine for now. Nick51, not sure I've played against this person before, but we are here in a ranked game in Diamond, so you should get a pretty good showing of the deck. Getting to see what our opponent doing feels really good. That's quite nice. So I think we just hit the turn 1 Kamano, right? I think we just hit Kamano here. Hope they don't draw a 1-drop that can turn on their 2 light up the stages, because those are really powerful. Okay, we get lucky. Excellent. This should block super well against just about anything he's going to have, especially next turn when he becomes a 2/5. It's going to be quite good. Risk factor is fine for us. We'll just take that 4 damage, no problem. Steamkin. Yes, we will block that Steamkin, no problem. So we will make him hard play the light up the stages probably this turn. So what much slower than his deck wants to be right now. See what they do. I'm assuming they're going to either risk factor or light up the stage here, which either one is kind of fine. Absolutely. Have risk factor deal 4 damage to you? Yes, we will take 4 damage. No problem. You cannot draw cards right now. We have you in a great spot for us. What is this? Okay, that's fine. If he does find a way to kill our guy, we just get to reanimate him. Just put him on the slow mono black burn track right now. Risk factor, sure. I'll take another 4, no problem. Not afraid of that. We're just going to keep them with no cards in hand. Absolutely, that's the plan. Our turn. Love a Clawing Torment here. If he wants to get those counters on his guy, he's going to have to trade us by killing it. I do want to actually go ahead and put this down so that if I draw another land next turn, I can get my Liliana out. Liliana right now in this match would be amazing to get us that card draw going, start cranking out those tokens. That would just put a lot of pressure on, would feel so good. This deck is quite fun to play. You just get to ping people a lot. You get to just kind of sit here slowly, grinding them out, and then hopefully finish off with a nice, big, fat zombie guy. Gray Merchant. That's fine. He had to sack his guy to do it. I think that feels pretty good. Would actually love to draw that swamp this turn. Yeah, we'll go ahead and gain some life. We'll hit your things just in case. I doubt they're running any reanimation. Didn't actually realize that Timurat had this ability to exile up to 2 cards from graveyards. This is amazing. Good against Phoenix, good against Greasefang. That's lovely. Lovely 2-drop. Skewer. We are in a little bit of trouble here, but we have a pretty good amount of life gain from this. We can gain 2 life a turn if we max out for it. So that's not bad. Do probably need to watch out for the risk factor next turn. I'm probably going to have to let them draw cards. He gets a Lava Runner down, which is pretty good. I think we go ahead and Torment this guy, and then we'll hold up double Exile right there. I think is pretty good. Gain us 2 life. And I might even take the 4 damage again. Let's do this. Let's hit this, gain a life. I will take the 4. I think we live on the edge. I think the cards in hand are worse. And then we immediately exile that. Where did it go? Oh, I guess... Okay, cancel it. That doesn't go to the graveyard? This is in the graveyard, right? There it is, yeah. Okay. I want to hit the risk factor. I don't know, I was just overlooking it. So that he cannot recast it. We're sitting on 3... Taking big risk here. Taking big risk. But I think that's the way to go. Okay, sweet. Now I'm tempted, because I am in Lightning Bolt death range, I'm tempted to actually wait 1 more turn to gain 3 life. And I think that's the way to go. I feel like there's a pretty strong chance that they just draw one of their kill spells. Ooh. See? Now we're at such risk. We'll let him have it for now. He can have it for now. Okay, this is why we waited. See, we would be dead if we had not waited. And I think we're still pretty close to death next turn anyway. But at least maybe not from a big snipe spell like that. Oh, you only gain life for creatures! Oh, I'm such a dummy. Okay, getting into a game here. Turn 1 Duress always feels weird. This is a little awkward. I think we go ahead and turn 1 Warlock class to help us smooth out this draw a little bit. So let's go ahead and do that. I think is pretty solid here. We're going up against Mythamine in Diamond rank. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, we see the Blood Crypt. I actually think I want to Duress more than I want to Draw a card. Okay, probably just mid-range. Probably just mid-range. Sure. Glad I didn't draw now. That actually worked out pretty well. That worked out pretty well for us. I'm guessing they'll choose Omen? Yep, okay. You got it. They were not super interested in that Blood Tither. We can wait another turn and then Duress to hit that lovely Chandra over there. Put one of them into your hand. I guess we'll take another Swamp. Actually, just for mana efficiency, let's go ahead and Duress now. Feels really good to hit this Chandra anyway. They're going to get the turn 3 Trespasser no matter what. So that's totally fine. Oh, okay, so this is a Florian deck. At the beginning of your post-combat main phase, look at the top X cards where X is the total amount of life your opponent's lost. X are one of those cards. So it's a really good card draw spell, I guess. Yeah, let's go ahead and Torment him. We unfortunately have no creatures to bring back with the Omen, so that's pretty sad. Pretty sad showing for the deck right here. So he's going to get to look at a bunch of cards, draw a bunch of cards. Or draw one. I mean, he's going to get to look at 2, draw 1s. Just amazing. Okay, we got a little lucky, I think. Let's go ahead and put the Fin Lurker out. Make him get rid of something. Very nice. I think this is feeling pretty good. Okay, we get rid of a Blood Tithe Harvester. That's fine. I think I do want the option to pump him up to trade here, and then we can just bring it right back and play him again next turn. I think that's a nice little mini combo. Smart, smart. Very nice. That is, of course, a very good play on their end. We will say go. He's got the Graveyard Trespasser. I'm guessing he maybe thinks that we are a graveyard deck, and now we'll go ahead and flash this in to get our boy Fin Lurker back. That feels fun to me. Gets rid of a Duress. You do it, man. This is a bit of unfortunate. At least he doesn't get to play this card this turn, probably. Hive, he does get to play it. That's unfortunate how that worked out for him. Put in this Fin Lurker, get rid of that last card in hand. Sadly, the Bone Crusher is protected. But we hit another Bone Crusher, so that's great. That is really, really great. So we have a lot of good options here. We can either draw with the Lochthwain, or we can pump up the Fin Lurker to hit Florian. Either one is pretty decent here. What do I care more about? Getting rid of Florian? I think Florian's also effectively drawing cards, so I do think that's worse. So let's go ahead and declare blocks right here. He could have another Stomp, but I think it's worth trying to make this trade for now. Very good. Very good. So you have First Strike? Man, I didn't even know that. Silly me. I would have played that differently for sure. For sure, for sure. That is tough. That is very tough. Don't know if we can pull this one out. That's helpful. We cannot pay that word cost. I think it's worth it. This is putting in a lot of work. I would love to actually draw my zombie here. That would feel really good. Let's draw that zombie. Gain a whole bunch of life. Show me what's up. Show me that zombie. That's not a big deal. Gets to draw a card, which is fine. Don't know if we can pull this one out. This will be 6. So we're actually taking 8. Except we don't have any creatures left. So we're only taking 6. I think for now we take 6. I want to hold on to the devotion just in case we do draw that Gray Merchant. It will gain us a whole extra 2. So I think we just hold on here because either way it would have been enough for KO damage next turn. So I think just leaving the Rider here is totally fine. But I don't see how we pull this one out. Yep, that's just not going to be enough. Let's get another one. Okay. Aggressive hand to keep here, but triple Underworld Dreams kind of sounds hilarious. Let's try it and see what happens. Let's try it and see what happens. Lovely. WRS is who we're playing here. Warlock class turn 1's pretty nice because it allows you to turn 2 draw 1, which is just like a nice little bonus whenever you don't have a 2-drop. So that feels pretty decent. Love that we don't see anything there. Let's go ahead and do this. We will keep... I think we want the low mana play just because we've got so many 3 mana plays already. Probably should have kept the Rider, I guess. For whatever this 3-drop is. That's hilarious how great my card is going to be against them. Next turn we play the Culling Torment on it, and unless they have a way to put a counter on it, which they might. I mean, this is the Heroic deck, so they probably are able to put a counter on it. But if they don't specifically have a counter on it, it's going to die at the end of turn, and that's going to feel really good if we can pull that off. So we'll see how aggressive they want to be here. It's fine. No +1/+1 counters yet. And each of these draws is doing a damage, so that's exactly the game plan we want to roll. Ooh, that might be a better target because it actually gets counters. And it's double strike. So let's get rid of that. Right. And then Dreams. And this is a pretty sweet setup, I think. I think this is pretty cool. Omen of the Dead, we can actually bring back this Rider's going to be pretty sweet. And we can even do all of that at instant speed is cool. Sure. Probably going to be better to hit the Legionnaire just because it's getting all these counters. But they're taking a lot of damage from our Underworld Dreams. Pretty awesome. If they tap out completely, which they are, which I think is a mistake, except that guy has haste, so maybe it's not a total mistake, but we get to kill something on our turn. So that's going to be really good. We take a lot. We definitely take a lot there. But I think we're still okay. And I think before they get any protection spells up, we just do this. 2, 4. Ooh, taking that 2 is bad, though. If they cast 2 cantrips, we lose. So that's an awkward position to be in with the Murderous Rider there. I mean, we had to do it, but it might just be the L if they've got double cantrip here, which they probably do. Okay, what do you have, WRS? If we live this turn, I feel really good about us making it because we can drop down a Yara, which is a great blocker. And we also get to drop down the Rider, which is a lifelink blocker. So if they don't have it, seeing the Virtuoso makes me think they don't have it. So that gives me a lot of hope. They're going to be in a really uncomfortable position here. Did they just put haste on that thing, though? Ah, they did. Good game. GG's, man. GG's. Well done. Nicely done. Let's try one more. This deck sucks. Okay, looking at our turn 1 here, we see that Gray Merchant in hand feels pretty good. Turn 1 Torment, or turn 2 Torment, rather, is not bad. Omen of the Dead's not very good here. Let's mulligan. This is better. This is definitely better. I'll keep this, and I think we toss the Torment. And then we just wait for that turn 2 play. I want to be able to hold up Murderous Rider. I think feels pretty good, so we just put in this guy tapped here. That's nice to see. Very nice to see. Love it. Okay, we're seeing Thieves. That probably wouldn't have helped us against Thieves, so that's probably fine. They do draw a decent amount of cards, so Underworld Dreams is pretty good. I'm guessing they have some sort of spell? Or it could just be Thought Thief. Let's go ahead and see what Dreams does, see if it gets through. I think the Thought, the counter spell they run cannot hit this one, the blue-black one. The graveyard one. They do have Censor though, so that makes sense. All of our spells are 3-drops. I do think we want to put pressure on though, so let's go ahead and take our damage now. Okay. It's good. It's going to do a lot of milling. Three options, all of them pretty decent. Am I more concerned that I need to turn on the gas and deal damage? I think they're currently outpacing this mill to damage. So I think we kill this first, and then Underworld Dreams next turn, and then get out Ayara after that. But I am going to let him attack next turn, because unless he gets out another Thief, the damage is sort of irrelevant in this matchup. Sometimes they beat you with damage, but as long as they're not milling you, you're doing okay. So I think that was an okay move. There is a giant, like, blinking lights workman's truck outside, and it's pretty distracting. Huh. Drown in the Lock. That was the card I was trying to think of earlier. We have 5 mana. I don't think the life gain is too bad at this point. This can just straight up trade. It's not bad. Getting out of Dreams is probably pretty decent too. I'm a little nervous they have Counterspell, so I think I'm less worried about Rider getting hit. So let's put out the Rider. Trade here, gain some life would be totally fine. It also goes to the bottom, so it gives us 1 more card. So why not count that in our math? Let's see what they do here. Okay, interesting. Let's try to get out Dreams. Are they considering countering it? Yeah. Smart that they hit that. Unfortunately, we didn't get our Dreams out under that. Would have been 4 damage, but that's okay. This is giving them more value right now when stuff comes in. So I think we try to get them to trade. They don't, which is fine. They got a lot of cards in hand, though, now. Nervous about how many cards are in hand. That they got that under the dreams was really nice for them. Scavenger, yep, it's a good card. That card will kill us with damage. So that's bad. Man. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Swamp here would be incredible. If we could get that down, hit this Liliana, make them sack all their creatures, then I would feel like we're in a good spot. Okay, the question is, do they have Counterspell? Are they running another Censor? Probably. Okay. I feel like we've got a shot here.
I'd just surrender.
I should have swung in and got my 2 life back, but it is what it is. He also could have just a flashy creature here. He could have a Borrower that he just flashes in and then saves whatever he wants. He could have the... I don't know if the 1-mana drop has flash or not. I can't remember. The 1-mana blue spell probably doesn't have flash. The Merfolk Windrobber, I think, is what it is. Okay, we both sack our creatures. Let's go. We get to draw a card. This is wonderful.
Not, want not.
I think we're in a pretty good spot now. I want to say we're in a pretty good spot. If we can roll a couple zombies out with a Yara, that gets pretty darn good. Plus Dreams is going to put on a good amount of pressure. I think we might be okay here, guys. 40 cards in library. That's nice. If he wants to play another End of the Story, he's going to have to pay for it. Let's see what we can do. Okay, Jiria Warrior, what do you got? Do you have a play or are you giving up? Lovely. Start here, see if they're feeling countery. Get rid of a card out of their hand. Okay, it's fine. I'm fine with that being countered. It's still a 1-for-1 trade. See if they have another counterspell. That would be pretty crazy. Wow, double counterspell. They have that. All right. We're just going to go ahead and make a zombie. We'll keep one card in hand, keep them on their toes. We don't really have anything at this point that we care too much about. If he plays any creatures, I mean, he could flash in a flying creature now. Yep, at least they don't get to attack me this turn, though, so that's good. That's very good. If he plays a bunch of creatures, I can trade... Well, I can't trade Liliana for it. I got a +1. One more time. This is where the Eye Tyrant is just an amazing card. These are so good. So he gets to make that a creature, or the Hall. So good. These creatures are so good. That'll probably get in the game right here, just with these stupid creature lands that I don't have yet. Gotta get on these, man. Don't have enough in my collection. Very good. Very good.
I am exhausted.
Okay, we'd probably just take the L. Again. So 0% win rate deck. This is terrible. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to go ahead and give it to him. You guys have a good night.